President Trump says he's been briefed by his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, about what he saw as he spent several hours inside of Gaza today. Witkoff, who was along with the U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, was given a highly choreographed tour of an aid site that is operated by a U.S.-backed organization. They visited one of three of these controversial aid sites where the United Nations alleges the Israeli military has killed hundreds of Palestinians trying to get food. Just as Trump's envoy arrived, Palestinians near the site of Witkoff's visit say they were fired upon.
As soon as Witkoff arrived in the area, there was random gunfire. The shooting intensified, along with drones and quadcopters in the air, and they started firing at people. Bodies are scattered all over the place. We can't survive like this.
Officials in Gaza say at least 3 people were killed and 6 others injured near the site. The Israeli Defense Forces says it has only fired warning shots at people who are moving towards its troops. Right now, Israel is controlling the flow of aid and supplies into the territory. And according to officials in Gaza, more than 160 people, including 92 children, have starved to death. Hamas says it is not going to renew ceasefire talks until enough aid gets in. Israel has accused them of stealing that aid. My source tonight is Ted Shaban, the Deputy Executive Director of Humanitarian Action and Supply Operations for UNICEF. And it's great to have you here because you just have been in Gaza yourself, I believe now 4 times since this war started after Hamas attacked on October 7th. Today, Steve Witkoff says the purpose of this was to give Trump, the president, a clear understanding of what is happening, and so they can craft an aid plan. The president said they'd be approving that after this visit by Steve Witkoff. What do you think that they need to know the most?
Look, the situation on the ground is horrendous. There's widespread hunger and starvation. 1 in 3 people in Gaza has not eaten in days, and the acute malnutrition threshold has exceeded famine levels. On Tuesday, I was at a health center in Gaza City, and I saw acutely malnourished children who would have died had they not reached the center where UNICEF and partners are making nutrition supplements available. I spoke to a mother who said she's so malnourished, she was gaunt, that she can't breastfeed her child. And in the next room, there was children wounded by shrapnel up and down their abdomen and faces. Since the beginning of the war, over 18,000 children have been reported killed. That's 28 children per day. That's a classroom gone every day since the beginning of this war 22 months ago. The humanitarian pause is an opportunity to change the situation. But we need the condition on the grounds to be able to operate. We need all the gates, all the routes to be open. The UN and the humanitarian NGOs can address the situation when the conditions on the ground are set to be able to address the situation.
Well, given what you just said, and what you just said there compared to what we saw from the ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, today, he was touting the work of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the U.S.-backed group. It's been controversial. It's been limited in its capacity to deliver aid. You saw today, he said, Hamas hates the GHF because it gets food to people without being looted by Hamas. Over 100 million meals served in 2 months. Is that reflective of what you saw on the ground?
Look, the situation is so bad that you need all actors who can deliver aid in a principled way that protects the civilians that come to get the aid operating. The UN and the humanitarian NGOs have experience in places from Yemen to Sudan to Democratic Republic of Congo to do this. But what is needed is to get up to 400 to 500 trucks in daily, and it can't only be humanitarian trucks. You also need commercial traffic. You need enough fuel to be able to move the supplies, and you need not just food. You need nutrition supplement. You need to be able to get the health commodities in, and you need to be able to get fresh water to people. Right now, it's hot in Gaza. People in Gaza are living on 4 to 5 liters of water per day. So you also need to be able to get so-called dual use supplies and pipes, fittings, so that you can repair the water system.
Ted Chabin, thank you so much for coming on tonight to share what it is like from a firsthand source on the ground in Gaza. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Also here is Michael Capone, who is the founder and president of GEM, the Global Empowerment Mission. His organization supports international aid missions, including in Gaza. And I know that you were recently authorized to resume operations in Gaza. What is your biggest challenge that you're facing right now?
So thank you for having me. We work with an agency called COGAT. We've been working with them since the onset of the war. They are the coordinating body for the Israeli government. So when we have trucks that we need to bring in, we basically submit that, and then they deconflict it through another agency called CLA. Right now, the big issue is that's why you see those. I think there's approximately 1,000 trucks today at Kerem Shalom still that
lined up outside of
lined up, right? So everybody's blaming everybody. The real reason is there's not many routes that are available to go right now because there's so many people that are so desperate that they're just getting in front of the roads and they're just basically self-serving themselves off the trucks. So organizations have to make a decision now is until the market balances out, which is the most important topic that's never discussed, right? As he said earlier, there's no commercial markets anymore that are open. So a bag of flour cost $10 pre-October 7th. You know what it costs today? $300 to $500. A Pampers, just a little bag of Pampers is going for like $135 on the market right now. So when there's that much of a demand, people are just so desperate. So you have three different types of situation going on. You have the looting by gangs, black market families, gangsters that are basically trying to take those expensive commodities and resell them. And then you have a whole bunch of hungry people
who are so desperate that they're rushing these food trucks. I mean, you see the idea of saying, well, we're having to fire these warning shots. They're putting our troops in danger, but these people are, I mean, we're watching them, they're starving. And, you know, one thing that stood out to me about, you were talking about airdrop systems, saying that those don't work, the peer drop systems, that those don't work, that this needs to be getting just directly to the people from these aid organizations.
We have had 2 trucks looted in the whole history of us operating there. Imagine in a year and 3 quarters. That's when there was market balance and you could drive trucks true. Now, the situation with GHF, and let's forget about the military aspect of it and the people that have been killed at the distribution points. Let's just talk about how many distribution points there are. There's 4 distribution points in a gigantic space like that. To give you context, in Ukraine, we've delivered 350 million meals since the war. We distribute to over 900 points per month. Imagine 900 points per month.
And they have 4 points total.
And they have 4 points total with 2 million people, and we only support about 800,000 people. So what happens is when people are in camps, a mother that's, you know, with her children, there is no way she's going to leave those children and go walk 15 miles or 10 miles through a war zone where she could get killed just walking to go to that point. That's the reason why most nonprofits weren't for that program, including the UN. So like he said earlier, you have to let everybody do what they need to do. We're authorized now, and I believe that once there's more market balance, things are going to pan out and it's going to be much easier. But we bring aid directly to the camp and hand the box directly to people in their tents.
So they don't have to travel.
So they don't have to travel.
Michael Capone, obviously a grave situation. Thank you for joining us, and please keep us updated on your efforts.
And if you want to support us at globalempowermentmission.org, then that money will go immediately for our procurement.
Perfect. And we just showed that there for people who are watching. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.